This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. Another city has found out that when you vote for Democrats, bad things happen to you. This is what you voted for. So the people of Boston is realizing that what they voted for is probably not exactly what they wanted. So, Boston is a sanctuary city. And by that, friends, we all know what that means. That means there's a lot of love coming across the border that's being shipped off to Boston. It's a lot of people misplaced and unable to find housing because why? This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. So, the Black community of the Boston area is finding out that signing up to be a sanctuary city ain't all that good for me. It ain't all that good for us. It ain't all that good for us because guess what? They're realizing that, well, they're closing down our recreational centers to what? To house illegals. They're going to be closing up schools to do what? To house illegals. They're going to be doing what? Closing up your community places to do what? To house illegals. And so we've seen this playbook, friends. We've seen this playbook in Chicago. We've seen this playbook in New York City. We've seen this playbook across liberal cities in this country. So Boston is up. Boston is up. It's got liberals and progressives, first lesbian governor or something, I believe. Yeah, we gotta make sure yeah, they're real progressive down there in Boston. I was gonna say Chicago, but yeah, but they're real progressive down there in Boston. And so we're gonna go up in their business today. We're gonna dig into their business today. And so the Black folks in Chicago, God, you see, I do so much in Chicago, I can't get it out of my tongue. The Black folks of Boston is really waking up because they're actually out here having protests about stuff. I made a video earlier about Walgreens. They're out there protesting because their pharmacies are closing and their representatives ain't doing nothing about it. And so they're waking up and they're saying, well, what about us? What about we the blacks? What about us here black folks? What about us? We done built this country. We done did all this for the country. And now they gonna replace us with illegals. They gonna replace me with illegals. That's what they saying. So they're waking up. And so we're gonna have a conversation about that. So if you're interested in seeing that, let's go. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Conservative Poet. I am Amania, and I want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers. We got a whole lot of people that hit that subscribe button, and I want to say thank you for doing that because I will surely work hard to entertain you, to bring you information, and just to be the fighter out here in the streets for you. So, thank you for subscribing. God bless you and God keep you. So I was literally shocked to see footage of people actually living in Boston's airport. Like, I was like, wow. I mean, I know it happens, but I never actually really looked at footage that really showed you people living in the airport. And so we're going to see news footage of folks literally living in the airport. And I mean, it's shocking, but this is what's happening. And this is happening in Boston. And again, this is what the voters voted for. They voted to be sanctuary city. They voted they voted for this. Again, I want us to be clear again about what sanctuary city really does mean in the book. We learned all of that from Chicago. So It is said that a sanctuary city, all that they really are, or what they're supposed to do, is not to call ICE on the people. They vowed not to call ICE to come and take them away to deport them. That's what a sanctuary does. But now it has become something else. So now they are housing, they are feeding, they are giving whatever necessities that these people need in order for them to survive. So they're coming by the millions across the border, but we're only focusing on Boston today. And so Boston area is feeling the heat just like Chicago, just like New York and other liberal cities. So now we're going to go into the airport and see what's happening in Boston Airport with the illegals.
In Terminal E at Logan Airport, dozens of migrant families from Haiti and South America are asleep on the floor, including small children. This man is named Demonstrate. He says his dream has been to live in Boston. He's been living at Logan for about 16 days, looking for permanent shelter. The migrant crisis has been visible at Logan Airport for months. Back in November, Massport interim CEO Ed Freddy said this.
We have to emphasize that Logan is not an appropriate place for to house people.
Still, that is exactly what is happening. This is Axel. He says he's been here with his wife and 2 children for about 9 days. He tells us, we came here to look for a better life, but we didn't come here to live like an animal. The migrants tell us they are able to go to a shelter some days, but there's no space for them to spend the night in emergency shelters, so they are sent back to the airport. I'm looking for some support from the government to sleep peacefully with my family and then look for jobs, this man tells us. This morning, Governor Maura Healey reiterated her call for Congress to take action.
We need funding here in Massachusetts. I need help to cover the costs, and they've got to pass reform on the border, to fix this.
The governor says the state is doing everything possible to find additional shelter space and permanent housing for these migrants, and she adds that the state has processed work authorizations for 3,000 people.
Seen that? Heard that? Good. Hello, fellow patriots. Thank you so much for your support. And again, you can do so by purchasing products from the Orlando Patriots, mugs, t-shirts, all of your patriotic gear. We are in an election year, so we need to show the world that we support our candidates, especially President Trump. So get some gear at theorlandopatriot.com and you'll get 30% off. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. I'll see you there. I mean, this is such a terrible setup, such a terrible scene for the people who are actually making the trip and coming here. So these folks came by airplane, I'm guessing, because they're at the airport and they have suitcases and luggage. So how did they come? How did they come in? How were they able to get the documentations and all of that, to go through security, to go through all of these processes, these IDs and all of that in order to come here? So were they coming on a work visa? So if they were coming on a work visa, then they should have made arrangements, right? For a place to live. For if they're coming for work, then that company would have prepared housing and everything. At least that's how it's making sense in my thoughts and my head. So but it doesn't seem to me that this is what's happening, because in one of the clips the guy says that he's here with his family, and then he needs the government to help him to I guess, help him, and then he'll find work. So that tells me my thoughts of them having visas and being able to come through, and that process is not right. So what are they going to Haiti or different countries and picking people up in airplanes and then just bringing them in and then leaving them at the airport? Like, what does that setup look like? What does that process look like? Because I see what the process looks like at them walking through the border. That I can understand. I wrap my brain around that. I get it. I see it. I get it. But this whole airplane way of coming is it buckles. What's the word? It I don't know. It makes me crazy because I don't understand it. I don't understand how they're able to get on airplanes, and obviously they had to pay for that, come through that, and then end up sleeping and living in the airport. Like, you got your family together, y'all got airplanes, you bought tickets, and somehow you made it through the customs. Like, you just kind of walked in. Like, what does that look like? And then so they let you go, and you have no place to go, so you're just living in the airport. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I want to be very clear, because I am an immigrant myself, and I am also from Haiti. And I want to just say that I feel really bad for these people, because they are coming here thinking that I don't know what. And I know that they have YouTube in Haiti, they have videos and all, and we're not gonna, being that this news clip was about Haitians and so on, so that's why we're talking about this. But anybody, but because of this, they have videos. They are in communications with people here in America. So they know that, you can't just get on a plane, come here, and then just expect the government to put you in housing, expect the government to give you formula, give you food. Like, I know these people know better. We're smarter than that. We are really smarter than that. So I don't understand it. I don't understand how they package themselves up, especially the ones coming in this way. Like, here you are, you've landed here in Boston, so you don't have connections. I mean, people. Normally, that's how this thing works, is that they know people, and you go and live with this person and there's resources. You don't just show up and say, hey, government, I need you to take care of me and my family. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And so, again, it's again the incentives. People are coming here because they think, they're going to be taken care of. You know, no, you take care of yourself. You are responsible for yourself. Whether you come from Haiti, wherever you come from, the Dominican Republic, whether you come from wherever, Jamaica, or the Africas, wherever it is you come from, you know, you're responsible for yourself. Nobody is responsible to make sure that your baby has Pampers, your baby has food, your baby has formula, your baby has medication, you have medication, you have food, you have formula, you have housing. You're responsible for these things. And when you come here and you say, government, I need you to take care of me, it's crazy. It's crazy, Doc. I mean, talk to me in the comments. Tell me whatever you want. But I feel bad about this for the people. Them coming here, them going through this. The guy says in the video, he says, I don't want to be, I didn't come here to live like an animal. That's what he said in the video. He didn't come here to live like this. But they're coming here and living like this because people are being incentivized to come here, to make the trip here. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Again, there's Nothing against people coming here legally. Like when you come here legally, you have systems in place. You know you're coming, you have systems in place. There's a job in place. There's housing that you're working on. There's probably family that you're coming to stay with, friends you're coming to stay with. Whatever it is, there's systems in place. You're not just coming to live in the airport. Come here legally, have a plan of means to take care of you. And before, the men would come here, right? They would leave their spouses back home. They would come here, rough it out, get themselves organized, get themselves together, get themselves a job, get themselves a room, get themselves an apartment, and then they would send for their family. The system has changed because now everybody's coming. And so therefore nobody has any resources except for the government. For the government. It doesn't make any sense. So as we've seen this play in cities, liberal Democrat run cities across the country, it is no different than what's going to happen here in Boston. Because again, we've seen it. It is the lower income, it is the Black folks, it is the Black Americans that are losing out because they are not putting these people, you know, in the nice, clean neighborhoods or the white areas per se. But it is the white liberal that's always out here advocating, for DEI and so on. But it's always the Blacks that suffers the most. And this, friends, is no different because it is now the Blacks. They are now boohoo whining and crying because this is what they voted for. And so now they've got something to say. But we're going to see the mayor, the leadership, and the governor walk this facility that they are shutting down in the Black community so that they can give it to the illegals.
Toward the Amania Cass Recreational Complex ahead of its opening as a temporary shelter for homeless families. Now, the state says Cass Recreational will house up to 400 people, but that means it will have to shut down recreational programs. WBZ's Courtney Cole joins me now in studio. So, Courtney, the neighbors there are certainly not happy about that.
Because it impacts the neighborhood for sure. That community center is vital because it gives kids a safe place for play and that they can take part in team sports. But for now, that's going to be off limits. Police are keeping the protesters out of the center. You're getting a look at it here. Inside, though, Governor Healy, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, and other lawmakers examined the shelter, which is set to open today. Now, the state says this facility will give homeless families a safe place to sleep and eat, but they'll also be able to get work visas while they're there. The governor says she realizes this is a burden on the community, but she says her administration will help.
Committed that DCR will expend additional resources on important upgrades to infrastructure for this building, something that the community deserves, and we are going to make happen. Third, as we do this work, we are going to do so utilizing local vendors and service providers, food, laundry, transportation, case management. It's very, very important for the success of this.
Seen that, heard that, good. Black and Negro, African American, Blacks, Boston. Did you pick up what your governor was laying down? In a nutshell, the governor, your governor, stated that, well, I'll paraphrase at this point. You better get on board. Like it, don't like it, it's happening. You better get on board because these people are going to be taken care of. We're going to give them whatever they need, and we're going to take away from you your community resource for your kids where they can come, where little Jojo and little Momo can come around and play basketball, run track, do whatever to keep them off the streets. We're going to take away that resource, and your kids is going to be out here becoming, again, young scholars. Doing what? Robbing and stealing and being a menace to society. That is the future of your kids, because your governor and your mayor is taking away resources from you to give to illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. Just like New York residents, just like Chicago residents, just like DC residents, and now Boston residents, they're going to boohoo, whine, cry, and protest. Let's see it. Let's see what
That's
they
right. So actually moments ago, a bus full of migrants did arrive here at the center. A few of them got off, but then someone who works here at the complex did tell them to get back in, and it seems that they drove around the building. So the state expects that 75 individuals will be arriving today. Some of them are children, around 20 of them. And of course, just being here today, we saw some protesters not being happy about this plan.
They say they work for the people. Nobody wants to ask for this.
The Milnia Cast Recreational Complex is being used as an overnight temporary shelter, and people in Roxbury like Sean Nelson are expressing frustration with this plan.
Now our kids are going to leave out while their kids are getting all these resources off.
Mayor Wu talked to us about her trip to DC on Tuesday and meeting with officials from Homeland Security on this topic, while she continues to call on the federal government for assistance.
We shared with them some of not only the direct costs that can come from wanting to provide services to families like shelter, but also, again, staffing up on the school side and the extra resources that are needed.
Seen that, heard that, good. You should be happy about this plan. You should be happy that your resources from your own children are being taken away. You should be happy about your recreation center being taken away. You should get on board with what's happening. In the long run, it'll be good for you. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for you. What? Black folks, this is what you got. This is what you get. This is what you voted for. Yeah, they're going to close down your place, and they're going to give it to people who are not citizens of the country, because you are a sanctuary city, and your mayor and your governor, they done told you, you'd better get on board, because it's happening. Unbelievable what people are going through. And I mean, not just the blacks in these communities, but the migrants themselves. This is a terrible situation where they're tracking all the way out here to come to this sort of setup. I mean, it's inhumane. And that is on the Democrat side. What they're doing is inhumane. These people are not asylum seekers. That means they are not at war in their country. They are not politically persecuted in their country. They just want to leave. And I get it, for better opportunities, of course. But this is crazy. This is just not feasible. Everybody can't come. Everybody can't come. We've got so many people from so many countries pouring in. Everybody can't come. They need to figure out a legal process for these people to come. And it's for those people who are truly seeking asylum from persecution, political persecution, not just because they want to leave their country. The US should really figure out how to help the leaders of the different countries to fix the problems in their country so that they can start to build resources and put things in place so that the people will want to stay and want to thrive in their own communities. So I'm going to leave it there, friends. Thank you so much for taking the time and going on this roller coaster with me. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to say, God bless you. God keep you. I'll see you in another video. I'll see you in another video. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for.